Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel here. Glad you are joining us. Today we're going over my recap. Today is March 26th, it's Friday, and I hope you guys are having a great one. So today is a pretty good day for me. I'm up 1,143 bucks. So not too shabby. This week I've been consistently green, which is great. And while my numbers have been smaller, I will take that, the consistency. It's a good feeling. So, anyways, let's take a recap at the craziness that was going on in today's market and exactly what trades or stocks I was trading. So, let's go ahead and we'll pull up my progress for today. Here's my intraday running balance. Today was great on the respect that I did not ever go red on the day, and I love that. It always feels good. Yesterday I did go red right out of the gates. I was down 200 bucks, and it's a little difficult, mentally speaking, and trying to dig out of that hole. Like immediately you have a hole to dig out of, and so yeah, that's not fun. But today was not that way. So great progression here. And I don't think I had a single losing trade, which I have to go back and really filter through all my trades. But yeah, it looks as though I didn't have any losing trades, which is pretty incredible for me. So great progress. Not a whole ton of trades today, but let's talk about what I traded. So today I traded FEDU, WAFU, WKEY, and EEIQ. Those were the top gainers in the market, and they were going pretty nuts. So this morning when I rolled out of bed, I was checking the gainers for the day. And what was the big one we had up today? Was it ATNF? No. Oh yeah, this was one of them. So there were a few stocks today that had this crazy pre-market chart here. And a lot of them were pretty similar, where they had this incredible spike, going, look at this, from 675 to, 15, 14 bucks. Incredible run. And it just a rocket straight up. And of course, there had to be some kind of correction with that, but the correction was quite drastic, and they faded right back down almost to where they came from. And so today I was eyeballing this right out of market, and there was just nothing good on it after it opened up. It never really tested the highs or anything like that, so that just faded all day. So that was off the charts for me. Didn't trade that. What was another one? Let's see. EEIQ. This was a crazy one. So this in WAFU I want to review real quick. Once again, pre-market had a huge gap up big from whatever, $4 to 7, we'll call it 17, 18. And on this one, the opposite happened. When the market opened, the thing went nuts. And I personally don't necessarily like these types of charts when you have these gainers that go so insane that what they do is they go from halt to halt to halt. And so you get one candle to trade it to either get in or get out. And sometimes it's so tough to get filled and to get your trade executed. So I held off on this and I watched this, and it was super hard to watch. A lot of FOMO for me, but to see something like this go, I don't even know what the crazy percent gainage was. I think it was almost like 1,000% gain. Last when I looked over, I think it was 800. I don't know what it crossed, but anyways, this thing is obviously insane. But there was just no opportunity to get in. And what I get worried about on these is, let's say you just hop in with an order and you either go with a market order or whatever. you're just trying to desperately get filled on it so you can take the ride up. And sometimes you have to take whatever you can get executed at. Like, look at this. When this opened, it was at 23, and it just instantly gapped up once it traded to 25. So to get filled on these is difficult. And anyways, I get worried because if you hop into something like this, they go up so fast that I know the same happens when they start coming down, and you don't know where the top is. So let's say I was to hop in here, get filled at 27 or something, and then it opens up and it's opens up at 20, let's call it 24, 23, or even lower. Like, you've just lost so much money. So the risk on those is too high, and I wait for them to go through their craziness and then to pull back and see how far they drop, and then I look for an entry on them. But look at this. I mean, please let me know. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Be honest. This is difficult to swallow. If you got in on this thing, let's say you got filled in here, or even got filled on the downside, looking to just get in. Well, went into a halt, and if you were holding in here, I mean, you go from $30 to 19 is where it opened up at. So that's just absurd. And if you had any good chunk of change in there, chances are you lost some serious money. So I'm sorry if you were in that, and trust me, I've been there before. And that's why I try to back off these things a bit and let them unfold in the day. Chances are when they go up that quick, they come right back down at some point. They might go a while, but you don't know where the top is. It's hard to judge. So I like to get into stocks that I can actually, that don't halt as often, so I can get a better idea what's going on with my chart here. Oh, typical E-Trade here. Actually, my internet, I've got an issue with that. Give me 1 sec, guys. Okay, looks like it's coming back. 1 sec here. Nope, still not connected. Okay, just be patient. It's coming. Anyways, yeah, those halts are really difficult, and I don't necessarily like them that much. So let's step back. Let's go over my first trade, FEDU. Let's see if I can pull up the chart for that. Jesus. Yeah, I lost connection with my internet. It's being funky right now. All right, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. So here we have FEDU, and I got a quick trade on this thing. So I kind of had some FOMO on this again. This thing ripped, and I actually missed the move for it, but I decided, you know what, let me buy in on a dip on this one. So at 10.10, bought in at 257. I actually might have got in, yeah, let's see. So I did get in, yeah, 257, which was actually really towards the high. So this thing pushed, and I think I grabbed it real quick at 257. It was a real fast trade, and then sold at 262. And thank God that executed and went through, because that could have been bad holding that any longer. A very, very quick trade there. So had FEDU, and then I had let's see, what was next on the list. I did have a few more trades on FEDU. Looks like accumulated. I got 227, 221, and 217. And I think that was on the way down. And I was basically just accumulating to wait for that kind of that curl up, and sold all those at 10.15 at 224. So right Yeah, as soon as we got this little curl right here, I just sold. I think it was for a tiny little win. Not much at all, but wasn't really a great strategy on that one. The idea, I think, was to accumulate and hope for a bigger curl up, but we didn't get it. So, but I got out of that trade. And then I moved on to WAFU. This one, I think, was my bread and butter today. And once again, I sat on my hands. WAFU just ripped, you know, going from 973 to freaking 21 bucks. Incredible. So I let it do its thing and didn't get one trade in on this entire move. Let it fall. And then once it started consolidating all in this area, that's when I was trading it. So first trade on it was at 1026 at 1431. 1431. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm going back and forth between this thing, just trying to see where I hopped into items. 1423. Yeah, so 14, let's see. 31. Yeah, sold at 1026. So once again, that was just kind of one of those quick buys on the dip, and then a little move up and a sell. So I've been doing that a lot lately. My strategy is kind of slowly moved a bit from buying high and buying momentum moving up to waiting for those momentum stocks to make their moves and then trying to buy some of this, you know, bigger dips that happen and sell quickly for the flash up. I've been doing that for like a few weeks now, and it's been, you know, I've been doing pretty well at it. So that's kind of the strategy I've been sticking with. So anyways, I had a bunch more trades on WAFU. I'm not going to go through all those with you guys, but they were a ton of scalp trades. And then I moved over to WKEY. This one, let's see where I got my first trade at. Got the first one at 18. Yeah, it was a small little loss there. So 1808 and sold at 1805. Let's see what time frame I was in. And then I moved over, I had my second trade, 1318. Yeah, so okay, now I remember right on this thing. 1318. Yeah, so I didn't trade this thing all day, and I really didn't bother with it because I didn't see it very high up on the top gainers list until it started making this move here. Now we know this thing made a huge move. What was it? Not yesterday, but the day before, I guess on Wednesday. And it went up huge. It had a nice run. So just from knowing that previous history on it, once this thing started really busting up through here is where I thought there were going to be some opportunities at. And I was kind of waiting until it kind of hit a high and pulled back. And that's where I decided to start hopping in for some trades there. So got a few decent ones on there. And quite a few. And I did pull that strategy again once I started kind of accumulating. I want to see where I started buying at. Okay, so 1323. Yeah. So it hit its peak, right? And as it started moving down, I wanted to start buying, which on this chart, you know, wasn't necessarily a great idea, but hey, that was my strategy and I was kind of rolling with it. So bought some at 2039. Then I bought some more 2017, then 1966, 1920, 1920, 1920 again, 1919. And then finally got the opportunity to sell that entire position, which had accumulated, and I sold at, it was 1971. So that strategy worked for me, and it was a good trade because I was accumulating. Now that doesn't always work, to be honest. The strategy doesn't always work, but you gotta, I guess, assess your own risk. And it was working for me, so I went with it. And anyways, just kind of accumulating on the way down the hill. And the moment we got that curl up in here, boom, that's where I got the sell at 1971. So it's kind of, when I look at it now, I don't know. I don't know if it's the best strategy, but I've been pretty consistent with it more recently. And I just like the idea of getting a good price because I'm all over the momentum stocks. And this was one of them. This is definitely momentum here. When you see this kind of move here, these strong moves up. And what I used to do in the past was a lot of times I would just hop in and just hope it would continue. And a lot of times I would just hop in way too high and that thing would collapse or would pull back too strong and I'd sell for a loss. And I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you've got to, I think it comes to two things. It's your kind of your personality on what strategy you want to implement, but it's also the market too, because the market does shift, it changes, and strategies I feel like don't always work 100% of the time, all the time, depending on what type of market you're in. When the market's slow, certain things don't work. When the market's hot, there are things that work, but there's also other things that don't. So it's really hard to say. I wish I could perfectly guide someone, but that's why I'm just trying to, show some of my trades here so you guys can get a little bit of an idea of where I'm getting in and getting out. And I hope that's helpful. Sometimes it's kind of difficult, especially when you have a ton of trades like this, because I do a lot of scalp trading. But yeah, my strategy used to be hopping in when it was just going higher, higher, and higher. And more recently, I've been more patient to wait till it hits their highs, and then I look for the big drops on the backside and try to buy those up, buy the dips, and then sell on the next curls up. So that's just been my strategy lately. And anyways, that's where I pretty much ended the day. I did get a trade on EEIQ. Now this was another one. I think this is the one I talked about before. It was too crazy to try to get in on these halts going up. I'd like to know if some of you got in on this particular stock here into this whole rush, this madness going up, because it was incredible. And there are opportunities to really make some huge money, but it's a double-edged sword and it can go the other way. If you get caught in it going down and you can't get out, you're going to lose some huge money. So I don't know. I used to trade those a little bit more in those time frames, but I've decided I think it's a little bit better to have patience, wait for those moves to unfold, especially if they're in the mornings. Because once they unfold and they start showing you, they're easier to get in and out of as well. Once they've made their crazy moves and they've stopped going through these halts, then you can get an idea of where you can actually get in and get out. And it's easier to get in and out because you don't get stuck in these halts. Now, it did have, a few other halts throughout the day, but they were easier to get in and out of, and it consolidated better. So, yeah, I'd like to hear from you guys if you guys traded that. But anyways, I'm celebrating a decent day today, up $1,000, and that'll do it for me today. Let's look at one more thing before I head off here. Let's look at the calendar, see where I'm at. So this week, solid green. I love to see that. And pretty decent numbers, 400, 600, 400, 400, and today up 1,000. So I did pretty well. I managed to double my average profits for this week. And that's a good Friday for me. So 3 more days left out of the month. I'm hoping to knock it out of the park. Try to stay all green, of course, but got to be conscious of these big red nasty days because they have such a huge weight on my progress, and I can't afford to go through these big red days. I got to show you, for example, these two big red days, 16th and the 17th. Okay, I'm up 55, currently 55, $100 on the month. So I get rid of those two stupid red days. I'd be up $16,000. So while I think about this a lot, it's like, Joey, $1,000 a day, $400 a day, that's incredible money. And more recently, I've had the other angel or devil on my shoulder and whispering to me going, should I say reality? Reality is telling me, hey, look, $1,000 a day, that's cool. But guess what? With your red days, you might not be able to, that $1,000 realistically might only be $100 for the day. And that's reality. So that's tough to swallow sometimes, especially when you see all my other progress. There's only been two red days out of the month for me. Like, that's good. That's like good consistency right there. It's just that my red days are so bad. So I've got to learn from them. It's a tough gig, but got to improve, and I hope I can. So keep staying tuned here. I'm in the market every single day, and I do recaps for you guys. I hope you guys really enjoy them. Make sure to subscribe and like. And if you are interested in a different brokerage, I have the Webull referral link below, and I use that. I actually use Webull for the top gainers list to find out what stocks to trade. Because I'm into momentum stocks, and if you're looking at the top gainers, more than likely, those are most of the stocks that you're going to be trading. So anyways, hope that was helpful. You guys have a awesome Friday. Take care, and we'll see you on Monday.